How you guys doing? It's Michael Jenkins. That's Tim Murray. We are the guys from the Daily Line. And the big story that we've been talking about throughout the entire week, Tim, is Duke and North Carolina. Carolina winning that game in a blowout, 88-72. But we're not really talking about the final without throwing out the fact that Zion Williamson left in the first minute, which completely altered the outcome of this game. And now we have so many questions about how this affects Duke winning the national title, how it affects Carolina, and if and when Zion's going to return.
You know, just looking back at the game, it really was unfortunate the way that it happened. You know, I mean, all the, personal reasons aside of us just wanting to watch Zion in such a high-profile game, you got to feel bad for him. I mean, I feel like at times we think of these athletes as not real people.
Indestructible.
I mean, he's an 18, 19-year-old kid playing against the rival that, in the best rivalry in all of sports. So it just stunk that it happened so early in that game. But there was significant change out in Vegas because of that one injury, the uncertainty of Zion Williamson's knee. Is he going to play even at all? That's the thoughts, and all the hot takery on social media is, well, he shouldn't play. We will see. We'll see how severe this injury is. But immediately there was change. At Caesars, Duke went from a 2-1 favorite to plus 250. They quickly backed down to plus 220 because there was a sizable bet placed on Duke to win the national championship. Gonzaga moved up from plus 700 to plus 500 and have shifted back down to plus 600. UVA and UK, Kentucky that is, moved up to 7-1. And North Carolina, the performance that they showed last night, they moved from 18-1 to 15-1.
I've been on North Carolina for a few weeks, and the thing is, if you're going to place your bet, place it now if you like one of these teams, because as we get closer to tournament time, most of these odds aren't going to give you as much value because we'll have a better idea of which teams are playing great basketball at the right time. Carolina is a perfect example of that. The Heels, I know it was without Zion, but what we saw was a very aggressive team, a very talented team. It's still really hard to win at Cameron Indoor. You've got a coach who's won a national title, multiple national titles in Roy Williams. So as we get closer to tournament time, those odds will definitely change. You're going to get less value. And what I like about a team like North Carolina is that even in last night's performance, what will get lost is that they didn't shoot great.
No.
Now, Duke was even worse. That's their Achilles heel. They're a bad outside shooting team at times, but Carolina was only 2 for 20 from long range. So just imagine if Carolina had been decent from three-point land. You have to put that into perspective as well, but it gets lost in this cloud of what's going to happen to Zion, and I understand that.
Yeah, North Carolina, they have that nice balance of youth and experience. Luke May is a guy that was a key contributor in their national title run in 2017. Now, granted, he didn't do all that much in the national championship game, but if you go back to the Elite Eight that year, he was big coming off the bench for North Carolina. He had 30 points and 15 rebounds in the win over Duke. Cam Johnson, the transfer from Pitt a couple years ago, has really been strong for this UNC team. So at 15-1, they're an interesting play. Kobe White, the freshman, has also played extremely well. Didn't play great against Duke, but overall this year he's had some big moments in that win against Miami where they had to come from behind and hit a buzzer beater to force overtime. He played really well in that game. But you know where I have been all year. I have been questionable on Duke, the main reason being their three-point shooting. They're at 30.6% as a team. Even with Zion Williamson, I was questioning the fact that this team really struggles from long range. Now, if they have a game like they did against UVA in Charlottesville where they go 13 from 21, this team's going to be unbeatable. But they do have an Achilles heel, and it's shooting the basketball. If you look at the metrics, even though last night they gave up 88 points against North Carolina, fourth among teams in defensive efficiency, that according to KenPom. So this Duke team, they could play solid defense. Trey Jones is a great defender for this Duke squad. But I like UVA, and I like Gonzaga. I know I'm not going out on a limb there. I was able to get these two teams a little bit earlier in the year. But Gonzaga is a team, one of the best offensive teams in the country. You've got Hachimura, you've got Brandon Clark. Josh Perkins is, dishing the ball out all over the place. He's about to set the record at Gonzaga for most career assists. And then you've got Virginia. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, think of what happened to him last year.
Doesn't matter.
I know. But they also didn't have DeAndre Hunter last year. He was out with an injury. You've got three guys on this team that are shooting north of 42% from long range, and Kyle Guy, DeAndre Hunter, and Ty Jerome. They're all veteran players. They've got a great coach in Tony Bennett. I do recognize that their style of play, Jenks, does leave them a bit susceptible to an upset like we saw last year with UMBC and like we have seen in recent years. But this is still a team that everyone thinks of Virginia, and it's only defense. Yes, they are a great defensive team, but they're also top 5 in the country right now in offensive efficiency. They are very, very strong offensively, in addition to the pack line defense that Tony Bennett likes to put out there.
I want to add one more point about Virginia before we wrap this up, and you can still get the Who's at plus 700.
Yep.
When you look at the NCAA tournament, and the reason why I like Virginia and North Carolina as well, but specifically when you're talking about the Cavaliers, their calling card is defense. And if you're going to win the national title, you've got to win 6 consecutive games. For Duke, they're going to have 6 consecutive games where, or at least a few, not 6 because that opening round matchup will be easy no matter what, but they've got to shoot the ball well from outside. It is much easier to play 6 straight games of stellar defense than it is to play 6 straight games and be on your game and shoot well from beyond the arc, or just shoot well in general, and that is something that Duke has had a hard time doing this season.
One last note I'll make about Duke, Jenks, is this is a team that obviously did not shoot well against North Carolina, shot dreadfully against Syracuse, but they did go 2 of 14 from 3 in their win against Virginia at home. So this is something to keep in the back of your mind. And if Zion Williamson doesn't return to full strength, we know that'll be a huge, huge hole in their lineup. But R.J. Barrett and Cam Reddish are still expected to be lottery picks, are still expected to be top 5 picks in the NBA draft. So Coach K will have to scheme it up and accentuate those players. So, look, I know Duke took a hit if, in fact, Zion Williamson is not to full strength, but this is a team that still is very talented. But at plus 220, I've said it earlier in the year, at plus 200, it's just not worth it right now. If you really like Duke, just wait until the tournament comes and ride the money line all the way to the national championship.
If you like someone else, now is the time to get those bets in before those numbers get smaller and smaller. He's Tim Murray. I'm Michael Jenkins. We make up the daily line. Good luck. Go win yourself some money.